Terra Blu. First of all, the name. All the names of the wines recall who we are and where we are. Terra Blu means blue earth because of the variety of soil that we have. It's a blue clay. And Vermentino 100%, traditional indigenous Tuscan white grape. Not only Tuscan, it's also a grape grown in Sardinia, Corsica, and Liguria, all the Tyrrhenian area close by the sea. So it's a grape that grows very well on the coasts. In fact, if you go in the internal side of Tuscany, you don't find Vermentino. Vermentino is very mineral, of course, because of the soil, but also because of the influence of the sea. As I was saying, we are considered to be Tuscan coast by climate. So we get all the influence of the seaside. And it's only made in stainless steel vats because this is a white wine that has to be drink young for people who like easy drinking white wines. But if we are a little bit more patient, we arrive at the stage like it is now, then maybe recalls a little bit more of a more mature Chardonnay. So something that has also aged in oak barrel, but this actually has not. It just gained complexity thanks to the aging in the bottle. So when we taste the wines, remember that the first thing we have to do is to hold the glass from the stem or the base, to be able to have the hand as farthest as possible from the nose so that we don't influence the smell. And then we do, let's do first these. So we hold it from the stem or the base, up to you. And the first part is to swirl into the glass and go with the nose. And then start smelling all the characteristics. Yellow flowers, fruits like banana, pear. But this is something that I tend not to say because the tasting is very personal, and especially being here or being there. In the years that I've been to the States, the very first time I was completely astonished because I didn't expect it. No one told me before. And I said, went to a wine tasting of our wines. And I said, did you pour my wine? And they said, yes, because it didn't really smell like my wine. It was more open. The flavors were very well expanded into the glass. So don't ask me what is the reason why wine changes, but it does. It has a little change. So, but if you have any suggestion to give us on what you personally feel into the wine, I'll be happy to hear.
What do you smell?
Because for me, I also feel some Flintstone.
Limestone or Flintstone?
The Flintstone, you know, we call pietra focaia.
I know, yes.
This is the minerality. Okay, now let's taste it. 2 sips. The first sip, we use it as a mouthwash and we swallow. The second sip, we chew the wine for 4 or 5 seconds and then we swallow. Okay, the very first sensation you have is a deep impact in the mouth. But then there's one thing that arrives at pungent, which is the acidity. The acidity is this feeling of pungent in this area inside. And on this side, you start to produce saliva. And the more you don't have the wine in the mouth, the more you produce saliva. This is the acidity. The acidity is a component of the wine that keeps the wine alive. There's two components that keep the wine alive. One is tannins and one is acidity. Tannins are on red wines or white wines aged in oak barrel, but it's not this the case. And acidity is in every single wine. The white wines, they have it a little bit more than the reds. The reason is because we don't have tannins to protect the wine. So we need to harvest a little bit in advance to be able to have a higher quantity of acidity. But then when you swallow, you feel all the flavors of the wine that we smelled before. Can you?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a persistent wine. And this is good, especially with fat food, like a piece of bread with extra virgin olive oil, like a salami, like lard, like bacon, because when we have a piece of fat, the acidity is able to clean the palate from this oily feeling. So if you have some food, don't hesitate to eat at the same time because you can even see the difference when you taste. So you taste the wine with no food, and then you taste the wine with food. The wine changes. That's why when we do professional wine tastings, we only have a piece of bread salted, just to eat from one wine to another one to be able to reset the palate. What can you tell me about it?
Very smooth and clean and easy to drink.
Can you hear that, Claudia?
It's also, yes, it's smooth also because now it's almost, let me count. It's 8 months that it's in the bottle. The wine, when it's in the bottle, it's aging. The aging continues, it's not stopped. So slowly the wine becomes smoother, rounder. This is the natural evolution and also more complex. It's nice to have some bottles of this wine because in reds is a little, the perception is a little bit more difficult than the white. But if you take this white wine right after we bottle it, then you drink it after 3 months, then you drink it after 5 months, then after 7, and so on, you will never have the exact same wine, because the evolution makes it not only smoother, but very much more complex. And that's why I'm very happy that you get to taste the 2019 vintage, because with the stop of the tourism and work of last year, made us save some more bottles of wine to be able to start selling them this year and let our customers enjoy better, at least more how we want, because they're still good wines. But then, you know, wine is so much personal taste. we can talk about for hours about wine. And but there is always something that I will all like differently. It's normal. There is not a better or a worse. It's just different. So just let me know when you're ready to move to the red, because I have all the bottles here with me. So first I show you, sorry, that here, Terra Blue. That is the one we just tasted right now.
Is Genuino next? I'm opening them up.
Okay, David, please. Here we go.
Genuino, that's what I'm opening. Yeah, I'm opening it now, okay?
Yes. No pressure, David. Come on, come on. What's the temperature over there?
44. 44 degrees, so that's what about
Five.
5 Celsius?
Yeah.
Okay, that means it's like here. Today we had a 2, but more or less it's the same. But when we think about Florida, we always think about the sun, the heat, not the heaters, the real heat.
Okay, I'm pouring the Genuino now, Claudia.
Okay.
Are you on lockdown again?
We all have
One day yes, one day no. It's crazy, David.
Okay.
They divide us into 3 different colors. Red, that is the red zone, orange zone, and yellow zone. So the yellow, you can be open until 6 p.m. And orange, and red, we have to be closed. We can only do delivery or takeaway. But now they're starting. During week time, we are yellow. During weekend, orange. Christmas and before and the day after, red. It's crazy. They're just changing. We don't understand what's happening. So we just decided we close and that's it. We'll start again in March.
Good idea.
Keep it simple.
Okay, I think we all have.
I mean, great. Here we go. Genuino, Genuino, that is my father's first name, vintage 2018, is a more traditional Tuscan blend, Sangiovese di 80% and Merlot di 20%. This is the only wine that we don't age in oak barrel, because remember that oak barrel doesn't make the wine better in taste or better in quality. The oak barrel reacts with the wine in terms of tannins and oxygen, because that's why oak and not any other kind of tree is able to release what we call the noble tannin. And tannins, as I was saying, is one of the components that holds the wine, because it's a antioxidant. That means a natural preservative for the wine. And but they are also on the skins. So the skins, the tannins on the skins, they're pretty rough. In the oak barrel, they become maybe smoother and more to make the wine more long-lasting in the years. The Genuino is not a wine that we want to age for 20 years, but it's a wine that we want to have easy drinking, somehow the red version of the white, so something to enjoy every day. And that's why we don't age it in the oak barrel, because we're not looking for that big complexity and length of life. And that's the aging in stainless steel vats, what I call the purest wine, with no influence. This is the wine where you can really taste the wine, made of grapes. That's it. Because when there's an aging in the oak barrel, somehow is transformed differently. So again, we do the same thing on smelling and then tasting. For me, it reminds a lot of cherry, the mature cherry, the very dark ones. A little bit of pepper and the violet. At least to me, again, then depends. Everyone has its own
So just
sensitivity to the smell.
y'all realize this wine's a lot colder than its cellar temperature. There's so it's outside temperature because it's been sitting there, so it's a little cooler than normal, but you get the gist of it. What is the ideal temperature for red wine, Claudia?
They vary between 18, 19 Celsius. So David helped me with the conversion. Let's see.
20 is 70. About 70. Okay. We're ready to drink.
Tastes good cold.
Please, stop. Please go ahead. So the red wines, again, 2 sips all the time. The red wines, the ones like a Genuino or like a Pinot Noir, they can even be refrigerated. So during the heat, if you don't want to drink a white wine to refresh, you can drink this style of red wine because they get a colder temperature. Other wines, like the next two we're going to taste, if you refrigerate them, you lose the characteristics. So they need to be at 18. That is, yes, maybe around 70 Fahrenheit. So when you taste, it dries your mouth. These are the tannins. But again, this acidity comes out. And the peppery taste. And then count also the persistency, which is how many seconds. The more you keep the wine in the mouth, so you chew it for 3, 4, 5 seconds, when you swallow, there are wines that as you swallow, 2 seconds, they're gone. There are wines like these that you can keep the taste in the mouth for more seconds. That is the persistency. And this is a good sign. Again, this is the wine that is very good to eat, to drink with the cured meats. So salami, prosciutto, all these kind of food. Okay?
Yes.
So do you like this wine?
Yes.
Great. So whenever everyone is ready, David, we can taste the Marcampo.
Okay. Hang on. Let me open those bottles. So what do you think? What do you think about Claudia's bread recipe?
I love it.
Awesome. Great. I'm not a big bread person.
Great. I'm very happy. David and Charlotte, they both made it many times.
Yeah.
So they can replace me completely.
But we have a problem with we cannot get like for the pasta, the Manitoba flour. We don't have that here. But we just use bread flour. That may work.
Well,
I don't know.
for the bread is not a problem. You know, the Manitoba flour helps the rising for bread, and it helps the elasticity to the pasta.
Yeah.
But
So
I think you can make it even with normal.
normal flour. Yeah, I use
Yeah,
bread.
try with the double
bread-
zero for the
I use
pasta.
like bread flour that has a higher gluten content, I think, for the elasticity.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly.
But it
Totally
tastes good.
fine.
It tastes really good. I use it for the pizza dough too.
Yeah, of course.
We used your pizza dough last night. Okay, Claudia, everybody has a glass.
Okay. Okay. So you all have the Marcampo into the glass.
Yes, yes.
Again, we do the smell and the taste. So Marcampo, in the meantime, you smell and taste. This is our first wine. So Marcampo and Giusto Le Balze, these two wines that we're tasting now, been the very first two made since 2007. Marcampo is half Sangiovese, half Merlot. We just changed in the years a little bit the aging, because the first three vintages were aged on in stainless steel vats, whereas the last vintages, so from 2010 on, we decided to age it in oak barrel, just slightly, one barrels that have been used already 3 and 4 times, to be able to make the wine smoother, softer, but not to overpower the taste of the wine with oak. But this, you see it also in the Giusto Le Balze. Our idea is not to overpower the wines with oak flavor, because otherwise we lose all the characteristics that we were talking about before. So the authenticity, the uniqueness of each single winery is given by the land where the grapes grow. So as much as possible, we have to preserve that, and we are able to preserve it thanks to the quality of the grapes. Concentration gives complexity. Not only that, but also the health. How do I say it? If the grapes are healthy, then even the wine will be good. So as much as possible, we have to preserve these characteristics, because this earthiness that you feel in the wines come exclusively from the soil, and this is our signature. So that's why the oak barrel is an instrument to make the wines more long-lasting, but they don't have to overpower the wine. I usually compare wine to children to raise. I never know which verb I have to use, but this is the comparison is given because all the influences that we give to our children when they grow is to help them to express better their character. And the same happens with the wine. All the influences that we give to the wine are oppositely to make the wine express itself better without any overtaking of the character. So that's why the oak has to be backstage, not front. And half Sangiovese, half Merlot. We never, ever changed the blend, because for us, the 50-50 is the best blend. And of course, we make the wine how we like the best. Doesn't mean that if we did 65-35, it would have not been good, but would have not been our personal taste. So when you smell it, here you feel not only cherry, but a little bit of plum as well. The earthiness, the tannins, you feel more tannins than the previous one, but smoother.
That's the comment, there's a lot more tannins here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Than the others, yeah. But you like it better with.
Can you feel the difference in the tannins? The first wine and the second wine?
It's like bigger. Yeah, bigger. It's a bigger one.
You can feel it under your tongue there, on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, it's not making me sneeze. It lingers.
Of course, this wine you say has more flavor in terms that is more complex. First of all, because we got the influence from the oak, but secondly, because we have a higher percentage of Merlot. The Sangiovese itself is a very fine and elegant wine, like Pinot Noir. Merlot has a big shoulder, has big body. So that's why you feel it more complex, because the Merlot is somehow giving more flavors than Sangiovese right now. But again, age this wine for another 4 or 5 years, you see how slowly the Sangiovese will come out. The Sangiovese is like a shy person, needs time. This is for many different uses. This is the more flexible wine. It can be for an aperitif, it can be for lunch, dinner, red meat, or a pasta with red sauce, lasagna. This has more of a different usages.
No.
When we eat at your restaurant, Claudia, we get to sample all of this wine, but what is it that you
Yes.
serve the Marcompo with? What is it usually with the pasta? With the
pappardelle with wild boar.
Yes, okay. So do you know that this is at their restaurant? Some of you have been there. Is we serve this wine, this Marcompo wine, with the pappardelle pasta with the cingale, the wild boar sauce, and it goes really, really well with that. Question, Claudia, was where did the name Marcompo come from?
The name is the original name. So when we went to the cadastral office, the name of the house was Marcampo. And we decided not to change. Our house dates back to the 1700s. And probably that's just, we don't know if it's true or not. This is something that we thought about, that campo means fields. So of course here we are in the middle of the fields. Mar can have two meanings. Sea, so mare means sea, and it could be a sea of land, a sea of fields, but this is the most unlikely. The most likely is that mar is being transformed from mal, M-A-L-E, which means bed. So we may think about a bad soil, bad lands, bad fields. Field, sorry, singular. And this is because they used to grow wheat only in this area because of the clay. Of course, nowadays we have studies, but at that time there were no studies. So they couldn't grow anything else but wheat. So somehow they were, I don't know, maybe frustrated about that. And in fact, the very first harvest that we did, officially 2007, but unofficially 2006, the previous owner of the house came to see that, because they left Marcampo in the 50s. In the 50s, he was a young boy, and they left the Marcampo because they couldn't grow anything. But then that were the years in which the people from the countryside were moving into the city, because little industries started to come out. So they used to be hired in the industries, and they moved into the cities. So the lands were completely abandoned. But then one of the reasons is also because they couldn't grow anything else than this. And he started to cry because he couldn't believe that we were able to make wine there. Wow. Grapes. Yeah, but many people still, you know, it's been difficult. The first vintages, the first years, everyone was just saying, are you crazy planting a vineyard there? You will never make it. Because of course the words that have passed on, it was that. But we knew that Etruscan used to make wine here. So there was a wine production in the old times. So why?
Tell us about now around Volterra, there are several wine producers, and you're part of a group of young ladies that produce wine. While I'm opening, the Giusto Le Balze, you can tell them about that, okay?
Okay. Yes. So Volterra has now 5 wineries. And that's good, but we're still not enough. We should be a little bit more. But in the area, we now have a new brand, which is called the Terre di Pisa. And this includes most of the province of Pisa, because we are an area between the sea and the inland. So we get both the influences in the winemaking. That's why international grapes like Merlot that we have, and indigenous like Sangiovese. I'm part of the Women in Wine Association, as you can see the panel behind. Sorry, I'm not that technological. And if you see here.
Hey, we're part of the Wine Women Association. We are women and we love wine.
That's great. So I'm part of the Donne del Vino, which is the Women in Wine Association. And we are a group of women winemakers and wine journalists from north to south of Italy. Because the wine word in Italy has always been a man word. But actually, women can do everything from land working to winemaking to selling. So we just decided that, you know, the hand of a woman would have given that little more. So now we are about 800 wine women producers in Italy.
I haven't been to Volterra, so I don't want to go.
So, Claudia, explain to them the name of this wine.
Okay, Giusto alle Balze. So you see, Giusto alle Balze. We go back to the beginning. Okay. Can you see the picture of Le Balze?
Yes.
Yes.
So Le Balze are the cliffs, the clay cliffs.
These are the Balze. Okay. These are Le Balze, this natural phenomenon of landslide. Here is the little Etruscan wall I was telling you before. This on the right side is the Church of Sant Giusto. The Church of San Giusto is on top of the Balze. So Giusto alle Balze, the Church of San Giusto on top of the Balze, which is overlooking on our vineyards of Merlot. But Giusto alle Balze has a double meaning, because on the back side of the label, On the back side of the label, there is a little note written in Italian, of course, that I will now translate into to you in English. Is a little note that a dear friend of us wrote to explain the name. And this ends with the saying, just at the Balze, only at, because Giusto has a double meaning, the Church of San Giusto and also only at. So a very old tradition of the Etruria. Etruria was the Etruscan Empire. These Volterran clays not good for the vineyards. It's been us to take Merlot by hand and convince it to plant new roots on these biancane, that means white soils. When it woke up, it had another body, another shape, another perfume. A miracle like this only at the Balze. So giusto alle Balze.
Now, Claudia, this was, where are the vines? The Merlot vines.
The vines are
of the farm, Marcompo. Where? There you go. Yes. That's
here on the right and right here on the left.
Oh, so you blend those?
No, there. It's all Merlot.
Oh, okay.
But it's actually a blend of Merlot, because these two vineyards are exposed to an opposite sun exposure. So their growth might even be different. It's different in taste, because the heat of the sun on the vines is different. This vineyard on the right gets the sun during the hottest hours. The other vineyards is exposed to sun at sunset.
So I have a story that when we were there for the harvest, I think in 2018, their Merlot,
Yes.
yeah, their Merlot on the one vineyard of Merlot did not produce very much at all, and the other,
Which is this?
Yeah, it did not produce much at all.
Yeah.
And
That, you know why? You remember why?
I don't remember why.
Because of the hail. 8th of May and 8th of June 2018, we had 2 days of hail. And it was coming from this side. Okay? That means that here, being below, it was saved.
Okay.
Safe. But here it was hit a lot.
Okay. Have we officially tasted the Giusto alla Balze or no?
And do you like it?
We're ready to come there.
Yeah. You like the, so you like the Giusto alla Balze?
Yes.
So we need to keep a schedule of the red days versus the orange days versus.
No, we can't go.
When they let us go when it's green.
Yeah.
Just take a plane. Just take a plane and come. Don't care about what they say. Do you have to quarantine once you're in Italy? What's the problem? You stay 14 days at Marcampo.
No, wait a minute. Did you hear what you said? What's the problem? Stay 14 days at Marcompo. Claudia, question was, what is the best time of year to visit?
Well, there's 2 times, spring and fall. Spring and fall are the best. September is unique.
Yeah, so
September is
in the spring, if you're there, then you look out onto the hills where all the wheat is, and everything is green. And then in the summer, we have what we call in the United States the amber waves of grain everywhere. And then in the fall, you have the foliage changing, the vines changing, the wine harvest, you know, the olive oil.
I want to float in the pool.
Yeah.
I want to go there with the.
And when is the best time to get into the pool?
That is summer, that is July. But hold on,
That's in my pool on New Year's.
that's not only July, it's also after the harvest.
After the harvest.
Okay.
So
This year, September, this year in 2020,
Mhm.
Claudia, you're back.
I want to float in the pool.
This is
I have a picture.
yes,
in September?
It's making me cold right now. Well, there's-
Okay.
and this is after the harvest.
This
So
is-
we first
Oh, there you go.
jumped into the pool.
So you have
A lunch that started at 2 p.m. and finished at 6.
And
At
this is-
7, we were only at 7. Only this table survived at 7 p.m. and we had another 2 bottles of wine.
I can attest to being in
September.
2018 and sitting in here as well. So
Tasting room.
yeah.
Yes, you did, David.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
2 bottles of wine.
yeah.
That's David alone.
It's amazing. We had so much fun.
Yes.
Are you leaving soon?
Okay, you guys have any questions for Claudia? Anything? We
You did a great job, Claudia.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you again. Happy New Year.
Grazie.
Nothing other than thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Brava.
Thank you so
brava.
much. Grazie, grazie mille. I really look forward to seeing all of you here in person.
Yes. We were just asking how many rooms you have.
I've got that covered. I can help you. I can help them get rooms for sure.
We have.
Okay. David actually knows us better than anyone else, I believe. It's since David, is it since 2006 or?
Yeah, I think so. 2006. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The first time I met
so it's pretty,
Genuino and Ivana there at the restaurant. Yes. Yeah.
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 So 15 years.
Yeah.
Kiss Genuino's cheek for me.
Yeah. and here, let me see this bottle. So I don't know how this showed up here, but someone brought this.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. You're lucky. I don't have a bottle left. You're lucky.
Okay, one more question. No worries.
Does she come to Florida, particular anywhere, like she said her brother and she had come to Miami.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere local to where we could go to another tasting somewhere other than?
Yeah, they're wondering if you Claudia have been to Florida.
Not yet.
Yeah.
My parents in 2001, but not me.
Okay. Well, you're welcome here at my place when we can travel.
I
Okay?
would be happy, yes.
Yes, of course.
When it's warmer, though.
Exactly.
When it's warmer.
Okay. Hey, listen, I know it's late for you, but thank you so much. And it's cold for us. We only went through 2 of every bottle, so we have another bottle left here, and we're going to have some spaghetti with tomato sauce. So we're going to have
Oh,
that.
very good.
Okay.
Enjoy it, and anything you need, I'm here. Okay? Grazie.
Grazie mille. Ciao.